Sarah stood in the corner of the room, gripping a lukewarm glass of water. All around her, people were laughing and exchanging business cards, while she felt entirely invisible. Every time she tried to enter a conversation, her mind went blank. She assumed she was simply born without the internal software for charm that everyone else seemed to possess. Sensing her struggle, an older, sharply dressed mentor named Dr. Book sat down beside her. He explained that Sarah wasn't lacking a gift. She was simply caught in the charisma trap. This trap is the belief that social success requires you to be the loudest or most impressive person in the room. As this scale shows, overcompensating with performance rarely leads to a real connection. Dr. Book pointed out that magnetism is rarely about projecting your own value. It is a result of how you make the person across from you feel about themselves. Trying too hard to be the most interesting person often triggers a defensive response in others. They feel you are performing for them rather than connecting with them. To illustrate this, Dr. Book described an ancient king who was loved by every person in his kingdom. People would travel for days just to spend 5 minutes speaking with him. A young nobleman arrived at the court to compete for the crowd's attention. He wore the finest silks, told rehearsed jokes, and spoke loudly of his grand adventures. But the people quickly grew bored. The nobleman eventually asked the king why a quiet ruler was more popular than a world-traveling adventurer. The king's answer lies in the direction of the spotlight. The nobleman used his light to show people how wonderful he was. The king used his to show the people how wonderful they were. Shifting your focus from being interesting to being interested is the mechanical requirement for becoming a magnetic presence. Dr. Book told Sarah that this shift in focus has to be communicated through specific physical signals that the human brain is wired to look for. The first signal is the Duchenne Smile. A polite, forced smile only moves the lips. A genuine smile, which signals real safety and warmth, crinkles the muscles around the eyes and changes the entire expression. The second signal is subconscious mirroring. We naturally copy the behaviors of people we trust. Subtly matching the posture or energy of your partner builds a deep sense of rapport without saying a word. Finally, there is alignment. Pointing your toes directly toward the speaker and leaning in demonstrates that they have your undivided attention. These signals bypass the conscious mind, dismantling social barriers and allowing trust to form in a matter of minutes. Sarah walked back into the event. She felt the same old urge to rehearse a funny story in her head, but this time she chose to focus entirely on the people in front of her. She approached a small group, used a Duchenne smile, and asked a simple, open-ended question. She mirrored their relaxed posture and kept her toes pointed toward the person speaking. It felt a little mechanical at first, but as she stopped worrying about her own performance, the conversation became more natural. By the end of the night, people were asking for her opinion and offering their business cards for follow-up meetings. Sarah realized that charisma is a learnable skill. It is the result of a specific sequence of physical and psychological focuses that can be practiced and improved. Knowing these techniques is only the first step. To make them a natural part of who you are, you have to move past the theory and into consistent, real-world practice. That is why we built the Summary Board platform. It provides over 70 animated book summaries that break down the mechanics of human behavior into actionable steps you can use immediately. Because reading alone won't dull to confidence, every subscription includes access to our private 21-day live challenge. We meet on Zoom to practice these exact communication skills in a supportive environment, ensuring you actually use what you learn. These sessions are hosted live, so we have to limit the seats. We can only accept the first 500 people, and these spots tend to fill up within hours of opening. If you are ready to stop overthinking your social interactions and start building real connections,